What if one man, 2,500 years ago, already solved the biggest problems we face today, and we just stopped listening? Life is full of questions. How should we live? What truly matters? What brings lasting happiness? Long before modern self-help books or viral TikTok quotes, there was Confucius, a man whose wisdom has shaped millions of lives for over 2,000 years. Born in ancient China, Confucius didn't just teach about rituals and politics. He taught about how to live well, how to treat others, and how to find peace within ourselves. His words may be ancient, but they ring truer than ever in today's chaotic world. In this video, we'll explore 30 timeless lessons from Confucius, not just quotes, but deep reflections that might just change how you see life. Let's begin with what matters most when life feels heavy. How we keep going, how we rise after falling, and how we lead ourselves forward, one step at a time. 1. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. In a world obsessed with quick wins and instant success, this hits different. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Progress may feel invisible some days, but every step forward counts, even the smallest one. What matters is momentum, not speed. Keep showing up for yourself, no matter how slow it feels. Time has a way of rewarding those who simply refuse to quit. 2. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Failure is life's way of testing our resolve. The world celebrates success, but it's in our darkest moments that our character is truly built. Every fall is a lesson, every setback a chance to grow. This isn't just about grit, it's about seeing failure as a necessary chapter of the story. Because resilience, not perfection, is the real glory. 3. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Big dreams often paralyze us because they seem so far out of reach. But Confucius simplifies it. Start small. No mountain was ever moved in a day. Each tiny action compounds. Your job is not to see the whole staircase, but to take that first step. Keep chipping away. The mountain will move. 4. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Anger is seductive. In the moment, it feels justified, righteous even. But it often leaves destruction in its wake. Words you can't unsay, actions you can't undo. This quote is a simple but powerful pause button. Think, count the cost. Is the damage worth the fleeting satisfaction? Most times it's not. 5. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. We're conditioned to fill every silence, fearing it's awkward or empty, but there's wisdom in holding back. Silence can protect, heal, and reveal. It gives you space to think, observe, and choose your words wisely. In a world of constant noise, learning to befriend silence might just be your superpower. 6. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. It's funny, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you actually know. That's the paradox of wisdom. True knowledge begins with humility. It's not about having all the answers, but about staying curious, open, and willing to be wrong. That's where growth really happens. 7. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Talk is cheap, social media is proof, but actions tell the real story. The superior person, in Confucius' eyes, lets their deeds speak louder than any words. It's not about who can talk the loudest, it's about who quietly gets things done. Be that person. 8. To see what is right and not do it is one of courage. How many times have we stayed silent when we should have spoken up, or looked away because it was easier? This is a reminder. Knowing right from wrong is easy, but acting on it? That takes guts. Integrity is doing the right thing, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one's watching. Quick pause. Which one of these quotes speaks to you the most so far? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know what's resonating with you right now. We're all walking this path together, and your voice matters too. You can't build a good life without a strong foundation. This next group of lessons is all about the character we carry, how we treat others, how we define integrity, and how we find peace and forgiveness. 9. Respect yourself and others will respect you. Self-respect is where it all starts. You can't expect others to value you if you constantly sell yourself short. People treat you the way you treat yourself. Stand tall, know your worth, and watch how the world mirrors that energy back to you. 10. Worry not that no one knows you. Seek to be worth knowing. We chase attention, likes, followers. But what if we're chasing the wrong thing? Instead of being seen, focus on becoming someone worthy of being known. Build character. Add value. The right people will find you, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you became unforgettable. 11. Study the past if you would define the future. It's easy to think the past is irrelevant, old people, old wars, old ways of thinking. But history isn't just dates and dead men. It's a mirror reflecting where we're headed. Patterns repeat, mistakes resurface. If we're wise, we study the past, not to stay there, but to shape what comes next. The future belongs to those who learn. 12. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. Learning is everywhere, but without reflection, it's just noise. And thinking too much without feeding your mind? That's a dangerous trap, the overthinker's curse. Confucius balanced both: learn, reflect, repeat. That's the cycle that sharpens the mind and protects the soul. 13. Virtue is not left to stand alone. He who practices it will have neighbors. Ever noticed how goodness attracts goodness? Live with integrity long enough, and you'll draw people who see the world like you do. Maybe not overnight, but the right tribe finds the right heart. Virtue is magnetic. You don't chase the crowd, you build one around the life you lead. 14. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. We all want success, but few talk about the grind behind it. Sharpen your tools, your mind, your skills, your discipline. Diligence isn't glamorous, but it's what turns potential into mastery. You can't cut wood with a dull blade. You can't win with rusty skills. 15. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the 3 universally recognized moral qualities of men. Strip away the noise. Religion, politics, status, and it all boils down to this: wisdom to see what matters, compassion to care, and courage to act. Every great human you admire, they mastered this holy trinity. It's not easy, but it's what makes us truly human. So far, these lessons have centered around strength, the kind you build on the inside. Discipline, humility, respect, courage. They don't always show on the outside, but they shape how you walk through the world. Because true character is quiet, but powerful. 16. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. Revenge feels satisfying at first, but it's a poison. It eats you long before it ever hurts them. Confucius saw what most miss. Revenge doesn't heal, it destroys. Let it go. Not for them, but for you. Your peace is worth more than their punishment. Finally, let's zoom out. These final lessons from Confucius are about how we see the world and ourselves through the lens of wisdom, humility, and lifelong growth. 17. If your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. Legacy isn't built in a day. Quick wins feed you now, but education, that feeds generations. Confucius knew, if you want to truly change the world, invest in minds, not things. Teach, mentor, raise the next great thinkers. That's immortality. 18. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? Respect isn't just politeness. It's what separates us from animals. It's seeing another human, really seeing them, and choosing kindness. Lose that, and we lose everything that makes society possible. Respect is the glue that holds humanity together. 19. To be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. Mistakes don't define you. Carrying them forever does. Learn, adjust, and let it go. The past only holds power if you give it permission. Stop replaying the moment you failed. You're not that person anymore, unless you choose to be. 20. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. We argue politics, debate policies, but Confucius takes it back to basics. Strong families build strong nations. It's what happens behind closed doors, love, respect, integrity, that shapes the future. Fix your home, fix the world. 21. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. We scroll, consume, binge information, but do we think, reflect, absorb? Without thought, learning is just noise. And without learning, thinking turns into endless circles. Together, they create wisdom. Separate, they create chaos. 22. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. You can listen to 100 lectures, watch 1,000 videos, but until you do it yourself, you don't really know. Experience is the real teacher. Don't just learn about life, live it. Get your hands dirty. That's where understanding lives. Before we move on, take a moment. All these teachings, they aren't about perfection. They're about progress, about being human. You've made it this far, listening, reflecting, that's already growth. So ask yourself, not how much do I know, but what am I becoming? 23. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. It's easy to judge, easy to point fingers, but every time you react to someone's flaws, ask, why does this bother me? What does it say about me? Sometimes the thing we hate most in others is what we fear most in ourselves. Look inward. That's where the real work starts. 24. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. Everyone wants success. Few want the preparation it demands. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your preparation. The moment the spotlight hits you, you either shine or stumble, based on how ready you were when no one was watching. 25. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Change scares people, but not changing? That's fatal. Only the truly wise can stand still because they've mastered everything. The truly foolish stand still because they refuse to grow. The rest of us, we're meant to change, adapt, evolve the game of life. What ties these teachings together is a call to awareness, to slow down, to live deliberately, to stop chasing more and start becoming more. The world may push for speed, but Confucius whispers something different. That meaning isn't found out there. It's built in here. 26. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. We all want success, but few of us talk about the preparation it demands. Life doesn't reward the lazy, it honors those who sharpen themselves. Think of an axe. If it's dull, you can chop all day with little progress. But if it's sharp, just a few cuts are enough. Your success doesn't begin when you're seen. It begins in the quiet work no one sees. 27. To be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. Mistakes are part of life, but when you hold on to them, you're punishing yourself twice. Confucius reminds us, you're not your past unless you keep living in it. Forgiving yourself isn't weakness, it's growth. Letting go isn't forgetting, it's making space for the person you're becoming. 28. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. Society begins with family. If you want a better world, start by being better in your own home. The way you treat your parents, your children, your partner, that's where true values live. You don't build strong countries with loud speeches. You build them with quiet love, respect, and accountability behind closed doors. 29. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. In today's world, we're flooded with knowledge, and yet often lost in confusion. Learning without thinking becomes memorization. Thinking without learning becomes arrogance. Confucius urges us to balance the two, absorb and reflect. That's how you don't just know more, you become wiser. 30. The superior man thinks of virtue, the small man thinks of comfort. It's tempting to chase comfort, to stay safe, to avoid effort, to live easy. But Confucius challenges us to look higher. To live with virtue is to choose growth over ease, purpose over pleasure. True fulfillment doesn't come from always being comfortable. It comes from becoming someone you're proud of. That's what the superior man aims for. You know, as I went through these 30 lessons from Confucius, one thing became clear. No matter how far humanity has come, some truths just never change. We still struggle with anger, with pride, with chasing the wrong dreams. But somewhere in these ancient words is the roadmap we've been looking for. Because deep down, we're all searching for the same thing: peace, wisdom, a life well lived. And sometimes, the best advice comes from someone who lived over 2,000 years ago. If any of these teachings hit home for you, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this kind of content. And if you're like me, craving more wisdom, more of these life-changing ideas, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Because this is just part 1. We're just getting started. In part 2, we'll dive even deeper into Confucius's wisdom, the kind that challenges the way you see yourself and the world. Stay tuned because it's coming soon, right here on Wisdom for Everyday Life. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the oldest lessons hold the answers we've been searching for all along. Take care, and I'll see you in part 2.